Hi guys, and welcome to episode 27 of Auntie Danny Knits. I'm Danny and I'm your host. If you're new, I'm glad you stopped by to see what's going on here, and if you're returning, I'm glad you came back. So let's get started with what I finished. Alright, so I have 3 finished objects this week, but I can only show you 2 of them because another one is a test, because that's what I do as I knit test knits, but that's fine. So the first thing I finished is my Anna Karenina shawl. And this is by Kino Knits. I knit it out of Bugbear Woolen's BFL Twist in the color Appetite, and I'm showing you the part that's kind of boring. I mean, it's not boring, but it's just plain garter stitch. But here, look at that edging! Isn't that beautiful? And I love how it blocked out, pinned out really nicely. It comes to sort of a pointy tip on the end, and it is just at my wingspan, so I think it's perfect. It blocked out nice and long, way bigger than it looked like it was going to, and it was just on the needles. And I'm quite happy with how this turned out. I think I mentioned last time I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this for myself or if I'm going to send it to family who lives in colder areas, but either way, I'm happy with this. I actually think this will look really nice with my denim jacket, because I've got a dark denim jacket. I think this would be kind of nice, just wrapped around my neck, because honestly, it doesn't get any colder than needing a denim jacket for most of the winter here. So I think this would be quite nice. I'm really pleased with how it turned out, so yay! Good job, Kino. I love the pattern. So that was my first finished object. I did knit it on a US 6, but of course your gauge may vary. But I think that's what was called for in the pattern, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. So that's my first finished object, the Anna Karenina shawl by Kino Knits. The second thing I finished is my Summer Ease shirt. That one I knit out of Unwind Yarn Company. This is the yarn. Well, I mean, this is the finished object, but I'm showing you the yarn first. This is her Honeymoon Sock base in the color Without a Paddle, and it was last year's retreat colorway for the Into the Wool Fiber Retreat. And it was running around in this bag by The Project Bag, Tiffany. She's awesome. And I didn't bring my stitch marker up here, but the stitch marker was from Tilted Planet. I had to think about that for a minute. So let me show you the finished top. I did end up having to rip out an inch at the bottom because I tried it on and it was going to be too long if I put on the bottom edging, and I honestly didn't need another tunic-y length top. I wanted more of a hip length, so I pulled back at the inch. So when I wear this, I'm not going to try it on right now, but can't see from where I am, but there's garter at the top and stockinette on the bottom, and this garter stockinette interchange, the border there, sits right under my bust, which is a really nice place for it to sit. I am going to have to make a small alteration. That's the armhole. The armhole comes down to under my bust. And that it's fine if I want to wear a tank underneath, but because it's a summer top, I don't know that I'm necessarily going to want to wear a tank top underneath a wool top. So I'm planning to just mattress stitch up a little bit, but I need to try it on a day when I've got time to mess with it and have someone else around who will be able to pin it for me. Not pin it. I'm going to use those locking stitch markers to mark where I want it to close on one side, and then I'll match it up on the other. But that's only going to take a little bit of time to do. So I'm calling this finished because the knitting is done, the seaming that it called for in the pattern is done. I've got my ends woven in. They're not trimmed yet because, like I said before, I don't trim my ends until I've washed and blocked something. But I don't think I'm actually going to block this. I think what I'm going to do is wash it and wring it out really well, and then probably toss it in the dryer to keep it in this sort of shape. I don't really want it to grow. I don't want it to be extra long or anything like that. but we'll see when I wash it what I end up doing with it. But that was my Summer Ease top. Oh, and the pattern was by Tyga Hilliard. I don't remember if I mentioned that. But I'm really happy with how that all turned out. So there's that. And like I said, the third pattern, the third object that I finished is sitting right over there, and I can see it, and it's really pretty, and it has a whole bunch of colors, and it had so many ends to weave in. Oh my goodness, the ends. But it's totally worth it because they're gorgeous. But I can't show you because it's a secret test knit, so shh. Just know that I finished it, and I'm happy with it. And I got some reasonable stash yardage on it. So that is what I finished. So I've been working on a bunch of stuff. Not a whole bunch actually. I've pulled out older things because I really wanted to get some stuff done. It feels good to have finished objects, and so I'm trying to finish up some of the older projects that I've got laying around here, because goodness knows I've got a bunch. So the first thing that I pulled back out was my Gemma blanket by, the pattern is by Connie Lee Lynch, who is going to be at Into the Wool, so I'm looking forward to meeting her in person. So I finished the pattern. It's kind of recipe-ish, but so I'm using the Premier Yarns Sweet Roll in the color Lavender, and I bought 6 of them. And I'm alternating that with the Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn in white. And so I started at the center, worked my way out, and then decided to do an extra row of the white. And what I'm going to do with each of these 6 big squares, I've done this first one where I've done the edging. The next one I've started, and what I'm going to do is a join as you go. So at this little space here, I'm going to connect the next one up here with that. So that's the plan, to do a join as you go, and then when I have all 6 joined together, then I'm going to go around a couple more times in the white to get it big enough to be comfortable to put on a twin size bed, because this lovely purple is being made for my niece. This one's for Bug. So Bug will get this. Hopefully when my parents come to visit this fall, I will have, well, I've already got Bear's blanket done. Hopefully I'll have Bug's blanket done. And I have not yet pulled out Beans again, but if I have a chance, I'm crossing my fingers. But that one uses so many colors of yarn that it's definitely a work on at home project. It's not a portable project. But I'm gonna try to work on Beans' blanket too, and maybe get that finished up by the time my parents head back home, and they can take all of the blankets with them for the girls, and that can be, maybe that'll be their Christmas present. I was gonna have it be birthday presents, but their birthdays are all spread out, and I've already, like, 2 of them have passed, and the next one is, oh goodness, coming up soon. So I think I'm gonna probably send back store-bought gifts for their birthdays and have the blankets be Christmas. That way they all get the same thing at Christmas. But that's the first thing that I pulled out that I'm working on. The second thing that I pulled back out is my Father's Day cast on. It's living in this Knitpicker's bag that I got from Michael's years ago. This is the Schmidt vest by David Castillo. I'm using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed, and the color is Reindeer Heather. And this is what I cast on for my dad, not this Father's Day, but the one before. Such a bad daughter. But from the little sheepy up to where I am now, that's how much I did in the past week when I picked it up and worked back on it. It's got this nice argyle sort of diamondy pattern in the center. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time holding things up today, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I'm working on this for my dad. I am losing stitches. Excellent. We're gonna just talk as I pick those back up. But I'm working on this. I'm hoping to have this one also done right around the time my parents get here so that he can try it on, and if I need to pull anything out and make changes, he'll be here and I can pull it out and make some changes and get it to actually fit him nicely the way he wants it to. So this pattern, I may have talked about it initially when I started doing it. Down at the bottom, it's got all this ribbing, and the ribbing, let's see if I can can show you. The ribbing didn't line up nicely with the cable-y pattern. And I think I've got a little bit better now. It's still a little bit off, but it's the best I could manage given everything else, because I also needed there are ribbed panels on the sides, and those needed to line up. I'm feeling okay with it. I don't think it looks weird. I tweaked it a little. I think I moved it over one stitch so that it didn't look weird, because it was looking odd the first time I did it, and I pulled it back. But I just have to go to 15 inches, and I did measure my dad last time he was here from underarm to where he wanted it to end, and he did try this on, and it fit him fine around. So I'm at least going to get to where I split. It's a V-neck. Yeah, it's a V-neck vest, so it comes down like that. So I'm going to get to like the underarm split and knit up the back and start on the sides, and hopefully be close to being done with those when he gets here. I think when I do the back, I'm going to put it on a holder or waste yarn or spare cable or something, and not bind it off, so that if I need to add length or take away length, it'll be easy enough to do, and I'll do that last finishing part while he's here. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do that. And then, you know, I'll still have to do the seams at the shoulders and the ribbing around the collar and the sleeves, but that won't take all that long, especially if I've got everything to that point by the time they get here, because I'm still working on NICU noggins. So I broke out the Premier Yarn wool-free sock this week and made 2 different sizes of little ones. That one, yeah, there's a small one and a bigger little one. And this is, I love this stuff. This wool-free sock yarn is really nice. It's a tight squeeze to get a pair of socks for me out of a single ball, but I do tiny shorty socks, and I've got little feet. If I had normal adult size feet, I couldn't do it. But I think I'm going to get a 3rd one out of this. So that's fun. So that's that. And what else? Oh, I've also been spinning. I'm still spinning my Unwind Yarn Company BFL nylon mix in How Far I'll Go. I didn't bother bringing up the 2 finished bobbins because I showed them last time. And the other one is still on the wheel. I hate taking it on and off the wheel. I always feel like I can't get the tension quite right again afterwards. I mean, I can, but it takes messing with, and I don't feel like messing with. But I'm getting close. I'll be, maybe not by next podcast, but maybe the one after, I'll be done spinning the singles and I'll be ready to ply them. So there's that. And that's all that I've actually been knitting on. And crocheting. I want to get that blanket done. I want to get the vest done for my dad. I did finish those other 3 objects, so that's good. I do have some upcoming knitting. I actually got a pattern today. Reached down and grabbed the yarn. It's another test knit, because I'm all about the test knits, for Kino. And it's going to be a pair of mitts again. And I'm going to use these. They're so bright, it's totally blowing out the camera. This is, that's close. So it's a bright fluorescent pink in the color Let's Go Party. This is, the pink one is from Daisy Knits in her dewy base. I forget what her fingering's called, but it's the fingering, it's the dewy base, it's the sparkle base, and the color is Let's Go Party. And then this one is a sparkle base that I dyed myself. This blue was originally going to be for a sweater for the middle niece, but I waited too long and she's gotten too big for the amount of yarn that I have. And also she's decided that her favorite color is now purple instead of blue. So, but my sister she really liked those elephant mitts that I made, and not the elephant mitts, the giraffe mitts that I made. These ones are going to have an elephant. And I'm excited about that. And so I actually talked to her last night, sent her a picture of the test and said, "You want these?" She said, "Yes!" So she's getting a pair in pink and blue. So that's upcoming. And also upcoming, I need to do some more socks. I don't actually have any socks on the needles right now as I throw away the label. And this is some more Lollipop yarn. And this is The Godfather. So it's got 5 rows of It's Not Personal, It's Business, Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli, and I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. So those are the colors. And it's in a black bag, so it's not showing too well. But it's a white with black speckles, a red with black speckles, and a black. So I think that's going to be fun. But this is yarn that Jim picked out a couple years back. 2 years ago, maybe? And I told him that I would make him socks out of it, and so I think I'm gonna cast those on shortly so that he can have another pair of socks, because I love him and I like making socks, so that works out. I haven't been too bad with shopping. I was a subscriber to Yarnbox for a couple of months, maybe even a year or two, a while back, and I stopped the subscription not because it wasn't good, but because I was just in a place where I wasn't able to knit all the yarn that was coming into my house, and I had to stop bringing more in. So I canceled that subscription, but I still got their emails and stuff. But they're done. They're going out of business. And so they've had a bunch of things on sale, and I've been getting the emails about that. And I finally looked at it and said, I want to get some of these. And I looked, and they had some vocabulary yarn in the Hyperbole colorway, and that is the color of the Hun cowl that I made for my sister. And I thought, oh great, I'll get another skein of that, because it was on for like $7. Wonderful, I'll get another skein and I'll make her like matching hat and mitts, and because you can do so much with a skein of fingering. And it came, and I realized that I didn't read it properly. So it's the same brand, Vocabulary Yarns, and it's the same lovely Hyperbole colorway, but it's an Aran weight. Oops. But I found a hat by Tyga Hilliard. I want to say it's the Tirsa hat, and it's mostly stockinette with a little bit of a yarn over panel thing that I think will actually coordinate nicely with the Hun cowl, because it had some yarn over sections. It also had some garter sections, but so I'm going to try making my sister that hat out of this yarn, so it'll still coordinate with the cowl. It's just a heavier weight, but I think that's going to work out fine. So this was one of my purchases, and I got 2 others from them. These are both the Alta Truth yarns. They're an 80/20 merino alpaca in a DK weight. The pink is raspberry, ripe raspberry, and the blue is postal blue. And it's 298 yards of each. So I've got just under 600 yards. And I think, I don't know what I want to do with this. I kind of want to make a DK weight 2-color shawl. But I don't have one in mind. But I really think they'd be nice together. So I'm going to get online, and Ravelry will have something for me. But I mean, it's 300-ish yards of each. So it's not a ton of yarn, but it's still a reasonable amount, but it's not like enough to do a sweater or something. So yeah, I wasn't too bad with the shopping. I'm about to go buy a pattern, because I don't own that Tirsa pattern by Tyga Hilliard, so I need to buy it so that I can make the hat. But I don't think I've even bought any patterns lately. And like I said, all this yarn was on closeout clearance sale. I think I got all 3 skeins for less than $30, which was pretty awesome. Yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm doing well. I'm trying not to bring in more than I'm putting out, but I did just knit through 3 skeins of fingering. I wrapped those up between the Summer Ease and the what was the shawl that I did? The Anna Karenina shawl. So between those, I used up 3 skeins. I've also put a few squares on my scrappy blanket, but it's over there, and I'll show that when it's more than just a couple of squares. But I've used up some of those. I used up a bunch of smaller bits to do that test knit that I did, because I needed a gradient-ish set of colors, so I used up a bunch of smaller bits. So I don't feel bad that I've brought some more in. And I've also used up several skeins doing these Nikki Noggins. So, you know, as long as I keep things going out at about the same rate, it'll be fine. Totally fine, no problems. It'll be fine. I keep telling myself that, it'll be fine. And, yeah. I don't think I have anything else particularly exciting going on to talk about. I got a sign. I really wanted to put it up, but I don't know where to put it. But I got one of these. So I'm excited about this. I think I may try putting it like back there on the wall, but I'll have to find, well, it'll be at a weird angle. I'll have to find something, mess around with it, maybe next time. But yeah. So I think that's everything. Don't forget, keep on knitting socks and entering them in the Sock To Me Knit Along. I'll be drawing another prize next episode, so get your entries in. And again, this is any socks that you've made this year. It just has to be socks that you finished this year. And I'll probably, I've been thinking about it, I think like in December, at the end of December, I'll probably close it and then open up a new knit along in January. Same sort of idea, but just make it a year-long show me your socks, because that's my favorite thing to knit. I'm all about having socks, which is why it's so weird that I don't have any on the needles right now. So I think actually I'm gonna go downstairs and spin for my 15 minutes, because I've been spinning 15 minutes a day. It's on my little Habitica checklist. Did I tell you guys about Habitica last time? I don't remember. It's this app, and you put in your daily tasks that you want to complete and habits that you want to form, and when you complete them, you get points. And if you don't complete them, you lose health. So you've got this little avatar character, and when you get points, you can earn coins by completing your tasks, and when you get a certain amount of coins, you can buy like helmets and shields and little tools and equipment. You can buy eggs to hatch pets that sit in your stable, and you can feed them and grow them into mounts, and when they're mounts, they're bigger and you can ride them. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but basically it makes getting your habits a game, and I kind of love it. So, like, one of the things that I've got on my list of daily tasks is to spin 15 minutes. I've also got read 15 minutes a day, so I'm making a point of actually reading something, not just reading the computer screen at work, because goodness knows I spend all day doing that. But it's nice to actually read, not necessarily even fiction. I'm fiction, nonfiction, just some sort of book or story that is not work related. So I'm reading 15 minutes a day, I'm spinning 15 minutes a day. What else do I have on there? Flossing my teeth, because I hate flossing my teeth. I've never been a fan of that, but my dentist, you know, says that I should. So I put it on there, and every day that I floss my teeth, I get to check that little thing off. My little person goes bing, and I get some points and some imaginary coins to buy imaginary eggs so that I can grow imaginary pets. I don't know. It works for me. And yeah, that's called Habitica. I'll put that down here somewhere so that if you're interested, if you need some sort of external motivation to help you get things done. I enjoy it. Yeah. I think that's enough about my chores and my dental hygiene. Whatever. Oh, this got away from me at the end, guys. Sorry. But I hope to see you back in about 2 weeks' time. Happy knitting.